You don't need a large content team today to create content at scale. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. I'll show you how you can ideate and create published content with minimal human inputs. Having said that, there's always human in the loop if you want to ensure that the quality is right. And I'm going to tell you where exactly an expert should check the content before it gets published. So let's begin. So this is how the flow would look like. I'd give the inputs and it will take the content, analyze patterns, and the system will research and ideate and then draft. First, I'll share the content as a reference and the system will pattern analyze and then it will research and ideate and it will ask for user inputs on which ideas to carry forward. And once the user gives their input, the content is drafted and also we have given a score so that the system automatically gives a certain score and only publishes if it creates 8 out of 10 score minimum. And then it publishes to Notion. We can also publish to social media platforms directly, but I'm going to limit it to Notion in this video. However, there's a problem with simply giving content reference. If you are giving brand content, then there's always a need to adhere to brand guidelines, right? Hence, you would need some foundational files which would ensure that you're also creating content on brand. So I'm going to simplify this for you using this diagram. If you see, here's the content dump, but I'm also giving a set of foundation files which together are sent to the analysis engine and then it's drafted, scored and revised. And then there is the Notion content pipeline which goes there for the final approval by a human and it's ready to be published. So let's see how this works. I'm going to open the Claude desktop. It's the cowork and I will select the project which is in my local file. For this, what I've done, I have created a set of skills and I'll show you what those are. Then I'm going to run this for you. It's a set of skills and some reference files. So if you go to this file, there is content workflow, create content skill and similar content skill. And I'll tell you what these do. And then there's this foundation skills which I was talking about, right? It has all the brand details, including the brand voice, insights about the ICP, the market position it has, and then some sample content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the main skill, which is the content workflow here. Let's go back to the cowork screen and let me write use content workflow and it's going to activate the skill which is the master skill. And while it loads, I'll tell you what these are. It said that it has read both the skill files. Now step one, it's asking me to upload your content dump. Now if you're creating brand content for a long time, you would have the list of content details already with you. For example, you can download the LinkedIn post from the analytics tab or Substack or X for that matter and have all of them at one place and it accepts any format. And for this video, I have created a simple work content file and let me show you. I've just created a simple sample which I'm going to give it as an input, given a dump of the content example and I'm running it and it's going to fire right away. So it's asking which platform is this content primarily from. So it's both. So it takes a while to load and once it's done, it's going to start the entire automation workflow. As you can see in phase one, it has analyzed the content I've given and it has picked up specific patterns. For example, in this case, I've given the example of Freed AI, a popular AI scribe. And what it has picked up is there are three key themes like documentation burden, specialty specific context, and EHR integration friction to simple solution. And it has also given a series of other key information and it has identified which hook patterns are working. And note that I don't have to do anything here. It's just for my information and this workflow continues working without my inputs. And I'll tell you where exactly a human is involved, where you actually need to evaluate and use your taste to give it the right input so that the end result is top notch quality. So from phase one, it's automatically moved to phase two and it's creating a winning content profile. It considers the input files that I've given plus the foundation files which I had earlier spoken about. It combines the two and creates the winning content profile. And here's the information on the winning content profile. It has found that the successful LinkedIn posts are 80 to 120 words and the blogs are approximately 600 words, right? And these are some of the topics and some of the emotions it created. And in this stage, now it has identified the winning content profile based on the information I have shared earlier. Now, based on this research, it now wants to use Perplexity to do the first major research on the trending topics. You allow it, so whenever it comes, you keep allowing it, and let's see what it comes up with. There it goes. Perplexity research is complete, and now, based on that research, it's filtering topics using the winning content profile that it created just before that. So, there it goes. So, these are the 10 content ideas based on Perplexity research and the winning content profile. Now, at this stage, these are the 10 content ideas, and here it asks for a human input. Which ideas you would like to develop into full content, and is it a LinkedIn post or a blog or both? So let me go through this and see which ones look good. So as I browse through this, I see the 5 billion problem, why small practices are getting left behind by healthcare AI. It's very emotional. Let's pick this, number three. And I would like to create a LinkedIn post and a blog with number three. And let's see which ones look really good. I think primary care is a massive ICP segment for free. So let me pick this 10 hours back per week as well for the LinkedIn post only because it helps create that emotional appeal. So what I'm going to write a LinkedIn post and a blog with the 5 billion problem and write just a LinkedIn post with the 10 hours back per week idea. And that's it. It's going to write the content and push it automatically. And that's it. It's going to write the entire content, do the checking using the scores that I had given it, and it will publish it on Notion for the team to check. And of course, we can publish it from there without checking, but that's where humans are really important. And once it's approved on the Notion board, it can be scheduled and everything is automated for you based on fresh research, things which are really working for the last 90 days in the market. And there you go. This is LinkedIn post one. It's the 5 billion we invest in healthcare. Almost none of it reaches independent clinicians. DAX requires an enterprise contract. It talks about how the competitors are really difficult to manage, and then it's speaking to the small clinics, right? 2 to 5 clinicians and no IT setup, nothing, and try free for 7 days. Nice CTA. So I quite like it. And let's also look at the score. It's 10 out of 10. And you can choose to, of course, evaluate yourself, but it helps you with that. And let's now look at the blog post on the same idea. It's a good title, and let's see if it has done the H1 right. There's money flowing. You can always choose to remove the M dash and make it more human like. Of course, the human layer can always be improved, and I'll talk about it in other videos. And the enterprise problem, it has picked nice H1 and H2 and a different approach looks like, and then it's a 620 words, pretty much what works for free based on the reference file I had given, right? And it scored 10 out of 10. And then let's look at the third post, which is another LinkedIn post on the 10 hours a week saved. And this also looks good to me, and it has given the right CTA. Strong hook with 10 hours a week is what I would say. The hook is still not that strong. It can be more emotional, but yes, I would definitely want to rewrite it at least for the hook. And once it moves to Notion, I can definitely do that. And here it goes. It's doing the work and sending it to Notion. And we are soon going to find these files in Notion. Now, let me show you the Notion dashboard here. As you can see, there's nothing on the Notion board calendar right now. And once it completes its actions, we'll see content populated here. So it asks for permission again. So just allow and see the magic. There you go. So it has completely transferred the content to the Notion. You can click here if you want to check. And of course, you can go to the Notion dashboard and look at the content. If you see the 5 billion problem, why small practices are left behind. I don't like this M dashes, but you can always work on it and you can always improve the script and some more details about the angle, the audience fit, and then here's the content that we saw there on the co-work interface. This is the LinkedIn post with the score, and you can always choose to put it on draft, reviewed, and depending on the team responsibilities, and once the team approves it, it can move to publish, and we can also automate it for scheduling right away. So let's go back to the Notion screen, right? So currently I've not scheduled it or given it a specific date, so I can choose to move this to another date and ensure the entire content calendar is automated like this. And I can do this for 1 month of content or 3 months of content, right? And I can do that research and also schedule. Also, most importantly, what I've not talked about is you have to give specific inputs, your company files, for example, the call transcripts, the testimonials, all those proprietary data which creates unique content. If I'm doing it for any organization, it's going to be way more detailed, and of course it will sound way more credible, and that's how you do. My whole purpose for this video was to show that how you can actually automate the entire flow from research to choosing the ideas, where of course you need a person to give you the inputs, and then it goes to the Notion file, and from where we can always schedule and automate the rest of it. And in my next videos, I'm also going to show how you can create images and automate that process as well, and it's ready to be published from there, and it's this easy today. And that's when I say you don't need a large team, but you still need human in the loop, and you can get the entire setup automated. Let me also quickly take you through the foundation files which I had shown earlier, and it has in all the details of how the brand is positioned in the market, and there are a lot of details here, and white spaces, the market shifts, and then there's ICP voice, and it's not the typical boring firmographics, technographics, etc. It's way more detailed, what language they speak, who are they, and for example, the practice profile is fine, but what makes them light up, right? What delights them, leaving on time, having lunch away from the desk. These are the things you can actually use to create content. What frustrates them, what vocabulary they use, right? The technical jargons, which ones feel closer to them. So all these things are covered, and these are considered while the final output is created. Likewise, you have the brand voice, which talks about what Freed should talk about. You're spending 90 minutes after the clinic finishes notes, and then the traits of the tone, like clinic, it should be clinician centric, talking to MDs, nurse practitioners, etc. What to use, what not to use, the writing patterns, and do's and don'ts. It has so many details, and that's when the content appears credible. And I've not even mentioned, or I don't even have the call transcripts and other proprietary information that the company has. And then these are funnel insights, right? I've not particularly used this file in the content creation, but I can use this for landing pages or any specific content for a specific funnel stage, be it the top of the funnel or mid funnel or whatever use case I have. When does the discovery happen? How do people evaluate? Uh, how is it perceived against the competitors? So all these details, what are the conversion triggers, and all these things are there in this file. And a quick peek at how I am currently evaluating the content. And of course, you can always choose and update these skills whenever you want. And these are some of the ratings, how it's going to evaluate and score the content. And likewise for blogs, LinkedIn post, and we can always keep iterating on this. And then finally, the content workflow collection. So the three main skill files, let me take you through them again. So this is the first master skill, which connects the two other skills, which are create similar content and then create that content. So what it does is it simply creates similar content and then runs the create content part, which uses the pattern of similar content and then goes on to create the content. So here's document 2, which is how it identifies patterns, and it uses Perplexity MCP to create that content. And then this is the workflow. It asks for the content dump and does the analysis. And then once the analysis is done, it goes to the create content doc. And once the content is created, Notion MCP is used to publish the content finally. That's it. Just to rewind, so these are 5 steps, just one command and user inputs few points so that the quality is ensured and the judgment is used, and it's so easy to create the content. So this is part 1. Again, briefly, what exactly we did, what happens inside, and the outputs that get generated. One skill to create a similar content profile, another skill to create the content using the profile, and it first drafts, its auto scores. You don't have to do anything manually there, and then it gets pushed to Notion, where actually the team members can check and approve, and then it can go for content scheduling. So minimum inputs required, and with just one person handling the entire workflow end to end, and people who are evaluating based on their taste and judgment are going to create amazing things. And just I'll finish with this simplest version of this entire workflow. You give the foundation files, content dump, and get the ideas analyzed, and you have the content ready on your Notion. So I hope you like this video, and I'm going to of course deep dive further and create. I hope you like this video, and I'm going to of course create many more such videos, and I'll deep dive on how you can create more wonderful automations. And thank you for watching.